Welcome back everyone, this is MandoAllDay back with another video, and in this video I'll be doing a review for Nightwing Leaping into the Light. I'll be talking over a little bit of the story, the art, and if I would recommend it or not. So on that note, let's just get right into it. So this is how the front of the dust jacket looks. This is the back. And let's take a look here and see how it looks underneath. This book does retail for $24.99. All right, this is the front of the book, the back, and as always, the full spread of it. It's really cool art. Now, on to the book itself. So, the book is obviously about Nightwing, and one day he gets a visit from an old friend, aka Batgirl. So, when she arrives, they start talking about the past and whatnot. And so Nightwing ends up just questioning her, like, why are you here? Like, what made you bring into Bloodhaven? So Batgirl gives Nightwing a letter from someone. And I'm not going to say who the letter's from or what the note says, but he gives him a letter, or she gives him a letter about someone. And again, the letter's really, really good and very important, which I'm not going to say who or what. But she gives him a letter and whatnot. So as the story progresses, one night they decide to go out and eat to get food, as you can see here. So while they're out and about, a father and his son, they're both homeless, they ask for some food because they're hungry. So obviously Nightwing decides to give them some food and some money. So the next night comes about, and Nightwing decides, you know what, I want to go help out this father and this son. So he decides to go out and visit them again. And while he's there, as you can see here, while he's there trying to look for the father and his son, he notices something that's off. He noticed that in this particular area where the father said he and his son lived at or stayed at, he noticed that there's a lot of children with no parents. So essentially that's what kicks off the story itself, as far as Nightwing trying to figure out what's going on. Why are there so many kids here that don't have any parents or any parental guidance? And that's essentially what kicks off the story. There is a little bit more to it, but I don't want to spoil that for you. But for the most part, in terms of the story itself, I would say it's actually a really, really good story so far. Now, this is volume 1. And there's going to be volume 2 coming out, I believe, next year, January. If, I might be wrong. But for the most part, though, in terms of this volume, it's a really good story. Very well written. The banter between Nightwing and Batgirl is very well written. The character development is very, very good. The story itself is really good too. Like I said, Nightwing does get a letter from Batgirl, and it is from someone very, very special to Nightwing. And what's written in that letter is very meaningful and special as well too. But I don't want to spoil who it is or what's in that letter, but it is very heartwarming. But the story itself is really good. There is another plot to this story or book, which I'm not going to discuss because it'll kind of give away a lot of the main points to this. But for the most part, the story is very, very, very good. Written very well. The pacing of it is really good too. Yes, in the very beginning, it's a bit of a slow burn because, again, it's establishing this character, building the character development. But once you get past that, I'm telling you, the story is very well, and the pacing is very, very quick. I read this between maybe an hour and a half or so. And again, it didn't even feel like an hour. It went by quick, and after reading this, I just wanted more. I wanted volume 2. As a matter of fact, I went online to see when volume 2 was coming out, and ended up finding out it's coming out in a couple of months. So, unfortunately, I have to wait a little bit to read volume 2 and how this book concludes. But for the most part, the story is very good, and the build-up to the main villain is really good too. And also to the banter between Robin, Nightwing, and Batgirl, again, written very, very, very well. It feels natural and organic as opposed to something that just doesn't flow right or feels clunky. But for the most part, the story is very good. Now, the art itself is good too. Nothing amazing about it. I'm not hating it or anything. I'm not saying it's bad, because it's not. It's really good. But the art is just, it fits tone to the story. And again, the story is good. It's clean, simple. Nothing really pops out like, oh my god. It's just good, clean art. And I really like the story. Now, in conclusion, would I recommend this book? 100% absolutely. This is a fantastic book. I'm really enjoying this run. Unfortunately, I cannot give you my honest opinion in terms of the story itself, how it concludes. Because like I said, this is volume 1. and we are missing Volume 2. So I don't know how it's going to end. But for the most part, though, I am really enjoying the story, the character development, like I said. The pacing of it's really good, too. Everything about this is really, really, really good, and I'm really enjoying it. And yes, I would highly, highly, highly recommend this book. So, yeah, that concludes my review for Nightwing Leaping into the Night. Let me know what you guys think. Have you read this book? Do you agree with me? Leave it in the comment section below. Any questions, leave it in the comment section below. As always, if you want to watch more reviews like this, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, that concludes my review for Nightwing, and on to the next one.